we are going to talk about the second film in the John Wick series. We have already explained the first film of this series on our channel, and you will find the link in the description below. Before watching this video, make sure to check out the explanation of the first part, as it will help you understand this video better. The second part begins with John Wick's car, which is being driven away by some men while John is chasing after them. However, he has not yet managed to get his car back. These men attempt to escape with the car, but John catches one of their gang members. While searching him, John finds a card belonging to Abram Tarasov. Abram Tarasov is none other than Viggo's brother, whom John had just killed. At this moment, we see Abram himself. One of his men warns him, saying, "You are making the same mistake as your brother." He advises Abram not to provoke John Wick because once John sets his sights on someone, he does not stop until he eliminates them. Hearing this, Abram begins to realize the gravity of his mistake. Then, we see John arriving at Abram's hideout. Without hesitation, he eliminates all of Abram's men who are present there. After finishing them off, he retrieves his car and prepares to leave. However, Abram's men refuse to give up and continue chasing him. But John is not one to back down. He fights them fiercely, taking down every last one of them. John now understands that Abram will not stop coming after him, so he decides to confront him directly. He reaches Abram and without hesitation, kills all of Abram's remaining men. Then, John tells Abram, "I have no personal enmity with you, but if you keep sending your men after me, I will keep killing them, and in the end, your turn will come. However, if you stay out of my way, I will do the same, and there will be peace between us." Hearing this, Abram finally surrenders to reality and agrees. He promises that from this moment onward, he will not interfere in John's path. Satisfied, John leaves with his car. However, the car is in terrible condition after the fight. The next day, John calls Aurelio and hands over his car to him for repairs. Just as he starts to settle back into his peaceful life, an unexpected visitor arrives at his house. A man named Santino D'Antonio shows up. Santino is the boss of the Camorra, an infamous Italian criminal organization. He presents John with a mission, but as soon as John hears what the mission entails, he refuses. At this moment, Santino says, "You can't refuse me. You have to do what I say because I have your marker." A marker is a blood oath. When someone gives a marker, they seal it with their own blood, signifying an unbreakable contract in the world of assassins. If you have given someone a marker, you are bound to fulfill their request. Once the task is completed, the marker expires. But how did Santino get John's marker? In the previous part, Viggo had revealed that when John was planning to retire and settle down with Helen, Viggo gave him an impossible task. John successfully completed that task, but only with Santino's help. Grateful for his assistance, John gave Santino a marker. According to the strict rules of the underworld, if you have given a marker, you must honor your commitment. However, John refuses. He tells Santino, "I will never do your work because I have left that life behind." Hearing this, Santino becomes furious. In retaliation, he decides to eliminate John. Without hesitation, he blows up John's entire house. Despite such a massive attack, John miraculously survives. He immediately makes his way to the Continental Hotel, where he meets Winston. Winston reminds John, "You seem to be forgetting the two most important rules of our world. Let me remind you once again. The first rule is that no blood can be shed on Continental grounds. The second rule is that if you have given a marker, you must honor the request. You have already broken the second rule, so consider yourself lucky that you are still alive. But if you don't fulfill the marker's request soon, if you refuse, the entire underworld will turn against you, and soon you will be declared excommunicado. So now, you must decide. Do you want the whole world to hunt you down, or will you complete Santino's mission?" John argues that Santino destroyed his entire house and tried to kill him. But Winston reminds him, "Despite all this, you still cannot kill Santino. The rule of the marker states that you cannot harm the person whose marker you have accepted. However, once you fulfill your obligation and are freed from the marker's bond, then you may do as you wish." Winston is clearly implying that John should first complete the mission and then take revenge on Santino. John understands and makes his way to Santino. "I'm ready," John says. "Tell me what needs to be done." Santino smirks and responds, "You must kill my sister, Gianna." John is shocked to hear this. Santino explains, "My father granted Gianna his position on the High Table in his dying moments. He chose her over me." The High Table is an international council of 12, the most powerful crime syndicate leaders in the world. One of those 12 seats belongs to my family. The High Table controls organized crime worldwide, and no one dares to oppose them. They are the 12 most powerful crime lords on the planet. Santino's ambition is clear. He wants John to eliminate his sister so that he can take her place on the high table. Gianna is currently in Rome, Santino continues. She will soon take the oath for the high table, but I want you to kill her before she does. John has no choice. He sets off for Rome. Upon arriving, he checks into the Rome Continental Hotel. Everyone there recognizes John Wick, knowing exactly what he is capable of. He receives a warm welcome. However, Santino isn't taking any chances. He has sent a skilled assassin named Ares to follow John and monitor his every move. Ares is mute, but she is highly intelligent and an expert in her craft. John is now in Rome, preparing for the mission that will once again drag him into the world he tried so hard to leave behind. Everything is arranged for him to eliminate Gianna. John receives new guns and a custom-tailored suit, the special feature of which is that it's bulletproof. Now, John is fully prepared for his mission to kill Gianna. He arrives at the place where Gianna lives, but there are many bodyguards surrounding her. However, John knows when Gianna will be alone because he has known her for a long time. As expected, Gianna sends all her guards away, and when she's alone, John approaches her. Upon seeing John, Gianna immediately senses that something is wrong. She asks him, "What are you doing here in Rome?" John then tells her the whole truth, explaining that her brother, Santino, tried to kill him, and now he has been ordered to kill her. "I don't have any personal enmity with you, but I am bound by a marker and have no choice but to kill you." Upon hearing this, Gianna understands that if John has been given the task to kill her, no one in the world can save her. She then says to John, "No one in the world has been born who could kill me, but I know you will. So, I beg you to let me maintain my dignity. I want to die on my own terms." John, moved by her words, calms down. Gianna takes her own life with a knife, and she dies slowly. At that moment, John finds himself face to face with Gianna's most capable bodyguard. The bodyguard stares at John for a while, and then realizes that John must have killed Gianna. A fight begins between them. Soon, word spreads that Gianna has been killed, and everyone starts hunting John. However, John is not one to give up easily. He fights back fiercely, taking down anyone who comes near him, shooting them directly in the head. Just then, he sees Ares, who is attacking him. This is surprising because Santino had already received the job John was sent to do, killing Gianna. But Santino is still sending his people after John. This suggests Santino wants John dead for good. After all, Santino burned down John's house and is now determined to eliminate him before John gets a chance to take revenge. John fights his way out, but he soon finds himself stuck in a tight spot, constantly facing new enemies. Eventually, he confronts Cassian, another assassin. The fight between them seems endless. After a long struggle, both of them end up inside the Continental Hotel. It is here that they are reminded of the rules. No violence is allowed on Continental grounds. Both John and Cassian stop fighting, aware of the consequences. They have a conversation, where John explains to Cassian that he had no personal grudge against Gianna. He was simply following the orders of the marker. Cassian responds that he understands, but Gianna meant a lot to him, and he will take responsibility for avenging her. Just then, John receives a call from Santino, who begins saying strange things. "You've killed my sister, and now I will avenge her." John understands that Santino is now using the death of Gianna as an excuse to kill him. Santino is ready to pay any price to make sure John is eliminated, knowing that once John is free from his obligations, he will come for Santino. Santino puts a $7 million bounty on John Wick's head, and soon the news spreads everywhere. A $7 million reward is placed for John's life. We then see Winston, who visits Santino. Winston tells Santino that he may have forgotten the rules. Once the marker's order is completed, the marker must be returned. Santino, realizing this, hands back John Wick's marker. Santino then says to Winston that John's days are numbered, and it will all end soon. Winston, however, warns Santino that he might have forgotten how many people John has killed in his life. Recently, John single-handedly ended the empire of a gangster like Vigo in just a few days. He tells Santino that now, with the bounty on John's head, no one can save Santino. Winston adds, "You had John's marker, but now it's gone. John's life isn't in danger anymore, but yours is. Start counting your days because John is coming for you. He wanted to leave this world, but you dragged him back in, and now there will be destruction. And the first victim will be you." Meanwhile, John returns to New York. As soon as he arrives, many people begin attacking him to claim the reward. But John is not one to back down. He kills the attackers one after another, leaving piles of dead bodies in his wake. However, Cassian once again goes after John. The two engage in a fierce fight that lasts a long time. Ultimately, John stabs Cassian, leaving him half dead, and continues on his way. John then meets a beggar and gives him a gold coin, asking to be taken to Bori King, an underworld crime lord. Bori treats John's wounds and listens to John's concerns. John explains that Santino is now part of the High Table, and Santino's power over New York could soon extend to Bori as well. John warns Bori that Santino is a dangerous enemy, and if Bori doesn't act, Santino might target him too. Bori responds that if John wants to kill Santino, he's willing to help. Bori gives John a gun with 7 bullets and tells him where to find Santino. John sets off to confront Santino. When John reaches the art museum where Santino is hiding, chaos ensues. John fights his way through Santino's men, killing everyone in his path. He eventually corners Santino in a glass maze. Santino tries to reason with John, saying that if John kills him, more people will come after him because Santino is now part of the High Table. John replies, "I don't care about that. I left this life behind, but you pulled me back in, and now I will cleanse the world of you." Santino claims that John's only purpose is revenge, but before they can continue their conversation, Ares, a skilled assassin sent by Santino, attacks John. Taking advantage of the distraction, Santino tries to escape, but John is now on a mission to kill him. John defeats Ares in battle and continues to hunt Santino. Meanwhile, Winston tries to convince John to stop. Santino has made a deal with Winston to ensure John's death. However, John refuses to listen to Winston and kills Santino inside the Continental Hotel, violating the hotel's rules. Winston is shocked by John's actions but says, "You've just made a huge mistake." After the murder, Winston tells John that his troubles aren't over. Santino had placed a $7 million bounty on John's head, but after Santino's death, the Kimura family doubled the reward to $14 million. Now, every assassin in the world is after John. To make matters worse, John will soon be declared excommunicado by the High Table for breaking the Continental's rules. Winston says, "You've always been one of my favorite people, but now I can't save you." He gives John a 1-hour head start before the entire world of assassins will be hunting him down. With this, John's fate is sealed. He tells Winston, "The real battle is just beginning. I will bring death everywhere." After receiving his warning, John walks out into the chaos. Assassins begin to stalk him from every corner. The world is now after him, and the film ends with John preparing for the fight of his life. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest uploads.